Hey, good afternoon. This is the Jerry White Show. Appreciate everyone joining us. Give a few minutes here as we go live to talk about this is episode Glencoe football. Thank you to our sponsors, Twin City Used Cars, Tree Man Tree Service, Jared Bogle, 256-393-0127, Sam Boswell Honda of Gadsden, and Coosa Valley Baptist Church right there on Highway 77 in beautiful Rainbow City. Welcome. Are you guys excited as I am talking a little high school football? Oof, I cannot wait. Get your questions, comments, concerns, like, share, subscribe. It would be a blessing. Everyone doing well? You guys had a good 4th of July holiday, hopefully? Before we get this party started here, a little sound of victory. Oh. Thank you to Celsius. Jeff and I couldn't do what we do without that sponsorship. A few more minutes here for some people to jump on. This is an impromptu. Just trying to get things rolling again. Guys ready? You waiting on me? Okay, let's get to it. Hey, this is our summer preview. This would be episode number 8. The only 2 schools we've not done yet would be Oaks Bluff and Coosa Christian. This, of course, is episode Glencoe. To take you back, what I'm going to do is go through since 2020, just kind of give you an update of how the decade is going. And then we'll dive into the new regions and kind of how I see the season playing out. Again, this is very early on. A lot of stuff could change. Glencoe, since 2020, they were 2-8 in 2020. They were 1-9 in 21, 2-8 in 22, 3-7 in 23, 2-8 again in 24. Then this past year, they exploded. It kind of all came together. They were 7-4. They made it to the first round of the playoffs and just ran into an incredibly good Winfield team, and they're always good. So to put this in perspective, they are 17-44 this decade, 17-44. But year 20 through 24, they were 10-40. Let that sink in. Last year, they were 7-4, and they made a coaching change as 2 people going home. Bailey Blanchard went to Cherokee County. Then the phone rang to bring Coach B.J. Brooks back to Glencoe. And he was in Sardis, and he did, he needed to be home. So very excited that he came home, and we'll get into that a little bit. He coached 3 years at Sardis. He was 10-20. Had some things, man, they went through some tough seasons with off-the-field issues there that, man, just so thankful that Coach Brooks and his good godly character was able to lead that team during those traumatic issues. But this is 3A Region 6 now. It's a complete shakeup, and I'm going to go into this region just a little bit, and I'll kind of give you the breakdown. Again, thank you to our sponsors. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. It helps so much. Put your comments in there. Even if you disagree with me, put it in there. Let's have some fun, some banter back and forth. If we break down this 3A Region 6, it's at one of those regions that Jeff and I were actually talking about a little bit today on the Kapow show. This is a manageable region. This region, there's not an over travel. So it's way better than a lot of these regions. So break this down. Etowah, they were 4A last year. They were 1-9 last year, and they have a new coach. Then, of course, Glencoe's in this region, 7-4, made the playoffs last year. They have a new coach. Hansville's in this region. They were 3A last year. They were 0-10. Oaks Bluff was 4A, and they were 4-6 last year. Very surprising, actually. I think a lot of people picked them to really have a much better season than they did. 3A, Holly Pond was 3A last year. They were 5-5. Aniana were 5-5 last year. They were 4A football, and now they also have a new coach, a new offensive coordinator. That's a team to circle in this region. I think Aniana is really going to impress some people. Susan Moore coming up from 2A. They were 3-8 last year. And Vinemont was 3A. They were 6-5 last year and made the playoffs. So the only two teams in this new region that made the playoffs from last year is Glencoe at 7-4 and Vinemont at 6-5. Let me break down the record a little bit. I'm sorry, this upcoming schedule. Again, last year they were 7-4. Here's what the schedule looks like for the Yellow Jackets. They go on the road to Hayden. That's how they open their season. Hayden was 0-10 last year. Then they're open week number 1. Then they host Susan Moore, who was 3-8. They go to Jim Glover Field in a very, very much improved Etowah High School as Coach Hawkins takes the reins there in Attala. That's at Jim Glover. Etowah was 1-9, but again, put an asterisk there. That is a much better football team than that last year's record really, really says. Then they have Hansfield. Hansfield comes to Glencoe. Hansfield was 0-10. They go to Ohatchee. Ohatchee was 3-7 last year. To Aniana. Again, Aniana is going to be one of the top 2 teams, I think, in this 3A Region 6. They were 5-5 last year, total new coaching staff, and they got some dudes. They go to Holly Pond that were 5-5. Home against Vinemont at 6-4. That battle at Hoax Bluff. Hoax Bluff was 4-6, but one of those things, the records don't matter when those two teams square off. Then they close out the season at home versus White Plains, and White Plains were 3-7. I think this Glencoe team has an opportunity to have a heck of a season. So I guess the big question is, can BJ take on an already successful program and turn it into a region championship contender? You know, Glencoe doesn't necessarily need rebuilding. They need the right leader to take the helms and step up. You know, after winning 7 games, reached the playoffs last year, a lot of surprise in that. But Jeff and I, when we were doing our shows on Kapow, we actually picked them to make the playoffs, and they made us look good. The Yellow Jackets made one of the biggest coaching hires in Etowah County, bringing back a Glencoe graduate in B.J. Brooks. He understands the tradition. He understands the expectations and what it means to wear that gold and black. But they have some losses. They graduated some very talented seniors last year. They helped lay the foundation. You love those guys, the building block of the program, like Eli Young. They had Aiden Johnson, Cooper Gomez, Kevin Rodriguez, Cade Seacrest. That's a lot of experience that's off the field, right? They're no longer there. They were leadership, and they helped get them that 7-4 season. That's a huge challenge early, is replacing that kind of leadership. They do have some returning guys. Bronner McMurray, Alex Hudson Jr., who I'm going to circle. I think this is an all-state kind of kid. If he keeps developing, he had a nice touchdown run in the spring game against Gaston. This kid is dynamic. He works hard. So let's kind of highlight him. I think he's going to have an excellent season for Glencoe. You got Jaden Hunter, JoJo Bethel, Bryson Hammett, Montrose Hampton, Jamin Mintz, all people who are expected. Don't forget, is it Brian Trainer? I can't ever pronounce the kid's right. Let's just call him Bryce. Call him BB. He's going to be very good. And they got some new kids stepping up as well. Brock Johnson. They got Jason Brown. They got Jackson Hollis. These players are going to be counted on quickly to embrace what B.J. Brooks, his style of football, which is very physical. If I have to put some some strength on this team, I think they have some athletic skill players. I think the defense has some experience returning that will help. There's already an established winning culture. The energy and excitement around a new coach and what BJ brings to the table, I think is really going to lift this kid, really going to lift the program this year. They also have some areas they have to work on to improve. They're replacing some senior leadership. They're learning a new offensive defensive system, which is always difficult. They have to improve consistently, especially in that Region 6 play. You have to play consistent football, especially on the top end. They have to figure out a win. They have to figure out a way to win the close games. Those close games, those close matchups are going to determine the region championship. So if I'm giving keys to the season, I think you have to buy into BJ Brooks immediately. You don't wait. The new coaches bring new expectations, but if Glencoe embraces the culture that BJ is bringing early, I think they'll be dangerous by midseason. Number two, it all starts up front. Glencoe's always played with toughness. That identity has to continue on the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. That has to be their focal point. And number three, I think is a huge key, is create explosive plays. Their athleticism gives them ability to score very quickly. Turning drives into touchdowns instead of field goals is going to be huge in this. They have the athleticism to be able to score anywhere on the field. So if I have to give a prediction, and why not? I'm here. It's getting close to football season. I think a 7-3 season is very attainable. I think they have an amazing shot to finish in the top three of the region. I think they do make the playoffs. I think worst case scenario, I think the floor on this team is going to be a 5-5. Teams can struggle to adjust to a new coaching staff. You never know how that's going to go. I think the ceiling 9-2, 8-2 with a deep run if that offense develops quickly. So, I believe Glencoe made the best hire in Northeast Alabama for them. I think BJ Brooks knows the community. He understands winning football. He brings an energy to a program that's already headed in the right direction. The Yellow Jackets, I think, are going to be a playoff team again in 3A Region 6. And don't be surprised if they're actually playing meaningful football in November. Overall, I give this team an A-. I think this is going to be one of those teams at the end of the year when we're sitting back getting ready for basketball and we're looking back at the season. I think Glencoe is one of the teams that we could say, hey, man, I think they're doing it. I think they're got the right people in place, the right coaching staff, the right leadership, new principal. So a lot is changing over there. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see where this team goes. Hey, you guys do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to run a little trivia question. Here. You're going to have to put in the comments. Let's talk about the 500 win club. There is only one team in Etowah County who has, let me rephrase this. Which Etowah County team has the most wins in program history? Which Etowah County football team has the most wins in program history? They rank 22 in the state. Little hint there, 22 in the state. The number one team would be T.R. Miller with 744. This team has 643 wins. Right ahead of Alexandria. Alexandria has 642. So which Etowah County football team is ranked 22 in the state of Alabama with wins, program history? Going to be a little trivia question. You'll get something nice. Put it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And get ready for a lot more. I'll be doing 3-4 shows a week, probably in the afternoon or at night. Jeff and I have a lot of shows coming out on Kapow, and so I'll probably just do night shows here unless I do something on a Saturday. So please like, comment, subscribe. And again, thank you so much to our sponsors, Twin City Used Cars, Tree Man Tree Service. I know there's a lot of storms going on. Give your boy a call, Jared Bogle, 256-393-0127. Sam Boswell Honda, getting it done over on Meagan Boulevard over there. And Coosa Valley Baptist Church in Rainbow City. Service time start on Sunday at 10:30. Come be a part. So that's all I got right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Man, football season is here. Love you guys.